Now, we have a story out of Houston. You have a married couple purchased a home in the Summerwood subdivision on the northeast side of Houston, outside of the Beltway 8, for those of you who are Houston listeners. Now, this family is happy to have a very nice home, but in the midst of them having their home, they had a neighbor that's calling 911 over 20 times on them anytime they turn up their music just even a little bit, to the point it makes these people feel harassed. Let's go roll the clip.
Every time the music turns up,
It's 7 in the morning, y'all.
and Javon Cofield decides to invite family over to his own house, one of his neighbors calls the cops.
They've been out here 17 times. 17.
We checked, and actually it's been even more than that. The Precinct 3 Constable's office tells us they've responded to more than 20 noise complaint calls made by Javon's neighbor.
Oh, it's worse every time.
But Precinct 3 tells us Javon and his family have never done anything wrong.
I feel like I'm being harassed by the person that's making the calls.
The call started when he moved into the Summerwood subdivision last November.
Hey man, we Facebook Live once again. My neighbors done called the laws on me.
He started documenting each time deputies showed up.
It's so bad the family's used to them coming. The family greet them. Hey, how you doing? Okay, back to playing cards.
But now, he says, things have gone too far. Javon feels targeted, trapped, and discriminated against in his own home.
They don't want me here if you've been called out 17 times.
Precinct 3 confirmed to us where the calls were coming from, so we paid that neighbor a visit to get some answers. The man said he didn't want to talk about that with me. But now Precinct 3 involved in looking into what's behind this neighbor's series of bogus calls against Javon and his family.
It needs to stop. Enough is enough, man. That's all I'm saying.
Now, for me, and maybe some of you, we already know what this is. That guy couldn't even come on camera and talk to the news guy and tell him why he was doing that, because he had no reason to be doing that. The problem with that guy is this: he do not like to see a black couple having a house like that. And you have some people who are racist do not want to see black people have that. They will look at those black people and say, how did they get that? I don't believe they can afford things like that. And then they are the biggest pocket watchers out there when you purchase a home like that. Now, mind you, they had to go through all the same requirements as anybody else. Their credit score had to be good. They had to have the right income to get inside the home, a down payment. Their taxes had to be in order. Their debts couldn't be too much. And yet this couple moved inside of that home, minding their own business. And for me, I love to see brothers and sisters living like that, having their piece of the American dream, enjoying their family. But yet you have this guy over here who's harassing them. Now, the problem I have with the Harris County Sheriff's Department, Precinct 3, is that this guy has called you over 20 times. He's calling 911 at that. That's not an emergency. He should have had charges put on him long time ago, and you still playing with this guy. And the options that these people could have in this story is this: they can file a temporary restraining order, or they can sue this guy for slander. And if I were them, I would sue him for slander, because it is annoying to keep having the police show up at your house. How many times have we seen people get killed by police on stupid things like that? Always calling the police, always on us. See, they say, well, if you guys don't commit crimes, and if you guys will just work and do the right thing, then people wouldn't treat you guys that way. Well, these brothers and sisters work. They mind their own business at their home, and you see who is terrorizing them and harassing them. See, this is what people like him need to understand. We're not all walking around here destitute. A lot of us are buying homes every day. We're taking care of our families. See, on Fox News Channel, maybe that's probably what he watched. He looked at that kind of character. You think that all of us represent a small minority in Chicago. That's who we are. And then when we move in a neighborhood like that, you're pissed off. So you're trying to run them out. I'm telling you, I would sue them with their pants off. I'm telling you what, Sister Sadia would love to take that case. They need to call Sister Dia. She would go in there and rip him a new one because he deserved that stuff. He needs to be sued. He needs to leave this couple alone. But this is some of the things that we have to go through. Even though we're working, minding our own business, you still have people like him that don't like black people having anything. Well, guess what? We getting it every single day, working hard, and we are, at the end of the day, going to pull ourselves up and do better. We have to cut loose those in our community that don't want to do good. As many of you have seen with the situation on YouTube, a lot of us don't want to do good. We want to stay oppressed. We want to have the slave mentality. We want to lie and say we're poor when we're not. Poor people can't afford a house like that. I promise you that. And they're black just like anyone else. But I appreciate everyone joining us here on Patreon. Thank you for everyone that came and want to support the platform. You did not want to be affected by the shutdown, and I'm so happy that you did not be a part of that crowd. You are a special group of people. Thank you for that. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about what this brother and sister is going through, being harassed by this guy who just can't stand to see a black couple have something outside of being poor, destitute, and living in crime-infested areas.